Continues in Iran following the death of Mahsa Amini 3 weeks ago. The 22-year-old died 3 days after she was arrested for being inappropriately dressed. Now, Iranian President Ibrahim Raisi says a thorough probe is being conducted and forensic experts will present a report on the incident in the next few days.
Angry demonstrations have spread to over 80 cities nationwide since the September 16th death of 22-year-old Mahsa Amini, who was arrested for not wearing a headscarf by the morality police. They're responsible for enforcing the Islamic Republic's strict dress code. President Ibrahim Raisi says no stone should be left unturned in investigating Amini's death.
همه رو متأثر کرد و همه معتقدن که این قضیه معلوم بشه و روشن بشه. حتما همه ما با هر سلیقه‌ای و با هر نگاهی سیاسی با هر گویشی از هر جای کشور به این قضیه که باید پیگیری بشه به صورت شفاف و عادلانه این قطعی است.
Amini died in hospital after falling into a coma. Police allege she had a heart attack and fell, but eyewitnesses say she was severely beaten. This has sparked the first big show of dissent on Iran's streets since authorities crushed protests against a rise in gasoline prices in 2019. With the demonstrations spreading like wildfire, President Raisi is calling for calm.
اغتشاش به هم ریختن امنیت کشور، ایجاد هرج و مرج، تعدی به مال و جان مردم به هیچ عنوان.
State media reports that 41 people, including members of the police and pro-government militia, have been killed during the protests. Iranian human rights groups, however, say the toll is much higher.
Now, back home, South Africans are being urged to join the worldwide rallies that have been held in solidarity with the ongoing protests in Iran. Iranians living here want the South African government to intervene. Newzroom Afrika's Mnisi is following the story for us. Linda, very good afternoon to you. As the world is in dismay, wanting some accountability, South Africans, Iranians living in South Africa are also saying that this needs to be escalated to the highest level. What are you hearing?
Indeed, and Paul, rallying behind, of course, those living in Iran. And as you can see behind me, they've started gathering here just next to the Mandela Square here in Sandton. They'll be going, of course, to the local library where many are expected, of course, to be joining this particular demonstration, of course, calling on the South African government to intervene. And what they're saying is that for some of the issues that are faced by the Iranian, particularly women, are, of course, issues that many South Africans can relate to, and that is why they're calling on the South African government to intervene. They'll be marching today, of course, to make their voices heard. But I'm joined now by the spokesperson of the people, of the Iranian people living in South Africa, Kamran Amiri. Thank you so much for your time. I want you to talk to us about the significance of this protest. We've seen protests around the world, and what are you hoping to achieve, really?
Obviously, this is, we all gather here to show our solidarity with the people in Iran, speechless people. They've been under this sort of apartheid-like regime, security and paramilitary forces. They've been killing people, all the demonstrators that they've been just asking for basic human rights. And we would like to our voice to be heard by South African politicians to maybe look into it as when they were fighting apartheid in this country.
And what kind of intervention are you hoping for? You're saying that you're hoping that the South African government can look at it as a way and how they fought apartheid. But what is it that you're hoping the South African government will do?
We hope that they step in and probably discourage the regime to stop the killings, harassment. I mean, it's not a sort of a power fight. There are people that they're asking for their rights, and the government, paramilitary and security forces, they're just shooting at them. It's not a fair fight. We're asking for all governments to come and step in and talk to through the diplomatic channels and ask the regime to stop shooting people.
Now, we've seen protesters around the world, of course, taking to the streets, some burning their hijabs, some cutting their hair on live television. What will your kind of demonstration look like?
Obviously, as you can see, they're just showing some banners and, they want to be seen. And, of course, everything was supposed to be done yesterday. Obviously, we managed to get a few people here for today. I'm not sure if anybody wants to show any sort of cutting hair or burning anything, but mostly the whole aim is to get South African government, which we think that they have experienced this sort of treatment, to step in and at least stop the killings and harassment of the protesters.
And how long are you going to be doing this protest for, and where are you going from here?
At the moment, we're just going to stay here, maybe walk around, and we'll see what's going to happen the next few days. We obviously connecting to the rest of the expats, Iranians, that they are all around the world, 6 million people.
All right, thank you so much for your time. Kamran Amiri there, he's the spokesperson of the Iranian people who are living in South Africa. Just want to show you, I'll ask you to just step out of shot for us so that we can see some of the placards that are being shown by the people who have gathered here. I'm seeing one there also written, "I left Iran, Iran never left me," which is of course a sign of demonstrations that will be taking place here in Sandton. Many more are expected to join. In fact, we've just seen some of the people getting out of cars and joining in on this particular demonstration. And Paul?
Well, in Mnisi, let's leave it there for now, as South African Iranians speaking, of course, to some of the issues around this matter as they join in solidarity with the world at large around the gruesome passing, of course, of a 22-year-old. Let's now take